Pops had peace, Pops had plans, coffee in his favorite hand. Mike was hot, the house was still, then the grandkids came downhill. Old school rules, new school ways, gentle parenting every day. Toys on the floor, noise at the door. Pops ain't quieted anymore. Pops Chronicles.
The other day, I came into the kitchen and I found my grandkid standing in the refrigerator. Now I know you might be like, oh no, he was standing in front of the refrigerator? Or was he on top of the refrigerator? No, he was standing in the refrigerator. So I got one of those refrigerators where you got the two doors open and the freezer is at the bottom, right? You pull out the little drawer. Well, he has supposedly pulled out the drawer, from what I'm told, because I wonder how in the hell did you get in the refrigerator? And he's standing on that so he could pull open the other doors so he could reach something in the refrigerator. Now, mind you, the house is full of adults. Full of adults. I'm down here in the studio working, and he's upstairs standing in my refrigerator. So my wife thought I overreacted when I tried to snatch the life out of him, but there's a reason. So one is, even when they open the refrigerator, they look in there, see what they want or don't want, and then they just push it back, but they don't close it. And when they don't close it, the refrigerator gets warm. And when it gets warm, guess what happens? The food goes bad. And when the food goes bad, we got to buy it again. So I went to Walmart and I found this ordinary bike chain. Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, I had a friend named Tiny Boy. And his mother, he had like 7, 8 brothers and sisters. And I used to wonder, why is your refrigerator got a chain on it? She didn't have nothing like this. She had a chain, like a chain you might use for like trucks, whatever. But it was chained. You could not open the refrigerator because it was chained. I mean, it went all around the refrigerator. So I got this, and I was going to chain the two doors. And my wife, in her wisdom, pointed out, that's just terrible. But still, I'm going to chain the two doors. And she said, okay, but you can't chain the freezer because the freezer just slides out. She got me. But at least 50% of that refrigerator is going to be unaccessible. And that brings me to another part. They go in there and they look. Are they yelling now? That brings me to another part. They go and they grab something out the refrigerator, and then they will just take a bite and they'll just leave it on the table. They waste it. Then when I'm eating my food, they want a bite of what I'm eating. And they'll take a bite and they'll rub their nose. And now I can't eat my food because I know what little parasites they done left on the sandwich. So, to stop all of that, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, the refrigerator will be opened. There's only 2 keys. One here and one at the Department of Defense. I'm not going to leave the other one on site. And I figured that'll get rid of one problem. The other problem I got are Band-Aids. And I know you're probably saying, David, you're just being petty. But Band-Aids are expensive. So I saw my grandson the other day, once again, back to him, and he had a little tiny scratch on his arm or leg or something from being outside. Scratches are part of childhood. You go get scratches. You go break some arms. You go fall out. You go lose some teeth, right? And he had 5 different Band-Aids on the same scratch. And so, of course, his sister sees it. His little brother sees it. Now they all want Band-Aids. They ain't even got scratches. So, I got this tape. So from now on, when they get a scratch, they're going to get some of this tape. I had some duct tape. I can't find that. This is my gaffer tape. So they're going to get a little bit of tape on their scratch, and that's going to be fine. Band-Aids, too expensive. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to be the worst grandfather, and I know I haven't had to use this in like 4 hours, so things are getting better. But I'm really tired of. Yes, I have a whole list here. I'm really getting tired of. My granddaughter. I'm talking to my wife the other day, and she comes up and she starts talking. I said, "Stop! You don't interrupt adults when they're talking." When I was little, you never interrupted adults. You interrupted adults, you wouldn't even get to say what you wanted to say. You get beat from here to the end of the universe. If you were on fire, you would wait until the adult stopped talking, ask permission to talk, and then let them know you were on fire. And then they would tell you, stop, drop, and roll, or whatever it was to put yourself out. But I told her, don't interrupt. And she obviously didn't understand that. She understands now. So now, but she doesn't understand the timing. So she'll come up and go, excuse me, excuse me. No, 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 no. You don't just say, excuse me. You wait until you hear nobody talking and we look at you. And then you can go, excuse me. So I'm still working on it. A little more coaching. And I think she'll have it all the way down. The other thing that I've been having an issue with that maybe y'all can help me with is toilet paper. I don't understand why when kids go to the bathroom and I come in to the bathroom after them, all the toilet paper seems to have been unwound from the spool. And it's just my granddaughter. It's just her. When I was little, when I went to the bathroom, I was issued 2 squares. That was it. Make the best of it. Here's 2 squares. Go do what you got to do. And there better not be nothing on that toilet seat. I don't want everything to seem like it's centered around money, because it's not. Some of it is just discipline. Like they say, you discipline them in private, or you have to discipline them in public. I tell my grandkids, you act up while we out, I'm going to act up while we out. And I don't care, they're going to have to call CPS 911 and the FBI to pull me off of you if you embarrass me in front of people when we out. Not today. Another thing is, I guess, misery loves company. My daughter had just laid down the youngest child for a nap. And here comes my granddaughter. She sees the child sleeping in the room, and she runs in there and starts shaking him. I wanted to shake her. Shake her. I said, what are you doing? And she was like, and she runs away. Meanwhile, the baby's up crying. We're all out of melatonin. And contrary to what I used to think, I cannot beat a baby back to sleep. That doesn't work. Trust me. I'm not saying I've tried, but I'm saying it's not possible. I mean, you can, but it just takes longer. And my remote control, which I still don't know where it's at. What is it about kids and remote controls? We sent her in the room the other day. We had her, her mother put her on timeout. I wanted to just beat her because, that's something else I'm telling you she did. So she goes in timeout. She goes in the room. She's in there for about 45 minutes, which was probably like an eternity to her. And when she was released, I couldn't find my remote control. Had to put the app on my phone just to turn my TV on and turn it off. And the reason she got in timeout was because she was writing on the outside of my home with chalk. You know the chalk we used to do like the hopscotch and the stuff on the cement that I could spray down and get rid of like it never happened? She wrote on the outside of my house. My daughter goes, well, can you just spray it down? So I had her, and look, here's a picture. I had her little tail scrub the entire side of the house. I was like, But guess what? She hasn't written on that wall since. So that's about all I've got for this week. But I tell you, I'm going to make sure the next week is nice and calm And my daughter and her husband, their house is almost about ready. And I'm going to miss the babies. I'm going to miss the babies. But it's always nice to see the babies on Zoom and things like that when they're not in the same room. Anyway, I'm David. You stay cool. Remember, ain't nothing the matter with a little bit of loving. Tender leather loving. If you want to buy an official Pops Chronicles belt, hit me up. I got discounts on them. All right? I'll talk to you later.